Hi everyone, Caitlin James here from Scalp Micropigmentation Australia, and today we are chatting with Anita from our Brisbane location here in Australia. So say hi everyone to Anita.
Hi everyone.
Hi. So Anita and I met about 5 years ago, sort of both at the beginning of our SMP journeys, and I'm curious to find out from Anita, where did you first hear about scalp micropigmentation?
It was probably, how I came about searching for an alternative. I had a client that had bad acne. He was in for that treatment, and then he divulged to me that he was really devastated by his hair loss, to the point where he used to wake up in the middle of the night and have nightmares that his hair was falling out of his hands. And it was really sad. So that's when I started to look into solutions for hair loss, and I came across SMP, and that was in 2013. Yeah.
And back then, our training options were not huge. Training really wasn't available unless you wanted to purchase a franchise and be taught sort of in-house. So back when you started, what were your training options, and sort of what did you do to get qualified and sort of start in the SMP industry?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of options. I was in cosmetic tattooing already, so I sort of went down that realm first, but it sort of was exhausted. No one had really dabbled in it, so then I looked. There was probably one person in Australia reputable that I considered training with, but unfortunately you had to become a part of that group. So then I started to look internationally, and it just opened up the SMP world for me. They're the pioneers, so it just made sense to train internationally through these people who've been doing it for years and years.
Yeah. And because we're when we started, we really were out on our own here. So although you do training internationally and you're well trained, with people that have a lot of experience behind them, do you think you could have made it as an SMP artist if you didn't have that cosmetic background to fall back on? How did you find it helped you?
Yeah, look, I guess I had an advantage having done cosmetic tattooing, and also an advantage being a dermal therapist. At the time, I don't think that there would have been enough support for me here, but it did give me definitely a leg up in SMP. I suppose I've got the knowledge prior to know the skin depths and the reaction responses to the skin. So it definitely was a bonus to have that knowledge behind me to support SMP. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. And so because you have been in the industry for quite some time, what is the most sort of advancement that you have seen within our industry in that time? What have you seen change the most?
A lot since originally looking in 2013. Style has changed considerably. Inks, needles, machines, they've all been now adapted to scalp, which is absolutely brilliant. So the work that is actually coming out is absolutely brilliant, because of the advancement of, I suppose, the specifications of the tools towards SMP.
Tell us, what do you love most about scalp micropigmentation? Why have you decided to go full-time with scalp now?
Gosh, I love everything about it. I think the biggest part, and why I have such a passion for it, is because I have a passion for people. So just the response that you get from somebody who has such a low self-esteem, and that change in their confidence is no words can describe how you can make someone feel through SMP. But also, like, being a part of a wonderful national group, S&P Australia. It's brilliant to be part of such a wonderful group of people, and experienced people, but also I love being the external family, so the international family within S&P. There's so much support within the industry, but mostly my draw card is the results I get from people and how it makes them feel and change.
Yeah, absolutely. Where do you see the scalp micropigmentation industry heading? Where do you see there is room for improvement, and where do you see that this is heading, particularly here in Australia?
Look, Australia, we've come a long way, and as you would have seen in the last 5 years, we've come a long way. Training, there's a select few that have the skills and the knowledge to apply to training in Australia, but as a world group, it's ever evolving, ever advancing, just like most industries. You know, like I said, the inks, the needles, the machines, they've evolved so much in 5 years. It's really making its mark, and it's great because it's becoming more known, which, you know, it's something that wasn't available to a lot of people in the past, or didn't know about it and still don't know about it. So the fact that, you know, the word is getting out there about this fabulous solution is awesome.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Beautiful. So in Queensland, you do have quite strict infection control practices, although we all practice safely in all of our clinics. What can you suggest to clients that are coming through for consultations to make sure that they're choosing someone that is performing these treatments safely?
The number one thing is look for qualifications. So when you do enter a clinic, it should be quite a sterile environment, a clean environment, but look for certification. So, you know, everyone should be holding a personal appearance service license and a infection control license. Personal appearance is, you know, through the council. They come in every year and they're quite scrupulous and make sure that, you know, you are up to scratch. You know, make sure that your practitioner does describe and explain to you, you know, the process in depth. So you know, have them show you the needles and how they're, you know, sterilized, and they're individually wrapped, and gloves, and they should be wearing a mask, gloves, closed-in shoes. So, and ask questions, like, you know, don't be afraid to ask questions, but just look for certification and education, and don't be afraid to actually question them on it or look it up, you know. Just do your homework with it. Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. With Queenslanders, we find that they do love the sun a lot. So, you know, your treatments that you're performing up in Queensland are very different to what we're treating down here in South Australia. How do you modify your treatments, and what can we suggest to our clients who might be considering this treatment if they have a lot of sun damage on their skin? What can they do to help repair their skin, or what do you do, you know, to specifically help them get good colour retention, you know, for that real sun damaged skin that we see a lot of up there in Queensland?
We have a lot of sun damage. Majority of clients that come through the door have sun damage. It's a tricky one. I guess you've got to spend a lot more time on a sun damaged skin, because you've got to contend with hyper and hyperpigmentation. So that's where skills come into play, and experience, because you've got to camouflage it a lot more to give that realistic look.
And I guess that's where your experience comes in as well.
It is, yeah.
Because, you know, someone just entering the market as an artist, you know, wouldn't have any idea on what they need to do. Whereas I think that's where your results excel so much, because you are very aware from your dermal therapy background things that you can do to modify your treatments just to get those beautiful results that we see come out of your clinic.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, people usually don't see the top of their head. So until you actually have a look at their scalp, they don't realise they've actually got sun damage or sunspots. And, you know, a lot of the time I have to send them off to a dermatologist before we can, you know, proceed with the treatment, because they don't see that angle of themselves very often. So, yeah, there is a few more steps to it, but the result is amazing. Nevertheless, yeah.
Beautiful. And because of how long you've been in the industry and you've heard so much feedback and so many clients that have tell you, you know, how they feel about the treatment after, what would you say to a client that's just starting to look into scalp micropigmentation, that's really a bit nervous about proceeding? Is there any sort of advice that your guys have said to you, or women that have said to you about just getting it done? Is there anything that you can suggest to someone who's looking into the procedure?
It's something that a lot of people think about and look into for a bit of time before they actually do come in for a consult. I suggest just book a consultation. You know, it's obligation free. It is free. You know, meet with a practitioner, ask the questions, look at photos. We've got a plethora of images that we don't put online. And, you know, it's you don't have to commit, but I think that when you have a one-on-one, you get a little bit more information about it. So you can ask the questions. It costs nothing. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And even like during this social distancing time that we've got happening at the moment, like we do tend to get a lot of people come through the website inquiry wise, you know, asking for pricing and information, but you know, we welcome anyone to pick up the phone and organize their consultations either via Zoom or FaceTime or Skyping during this time, because I think meeting the person really does help make a decision. If you instantly feel really comfortable that, you know, we have your best interests at heart, you know, that's certainly going to help ease a lot of nervousness and anxiety that you might have about stepping into treatment, or also request, you know, to meet someone that's had it done as well. Like we've all got clients that put their hand up and say, look, I'm happy to show my result to anyone that might be nervous, because you do change someone's life so much that, you know, we always have guys saying, I'm very happy to meet with anyone that wants to have the treatment. So if anyone's considering this and is very nervous, do the rounds and meet a couple of practitioners and ask to meet with some of their clients so you can see firsthand their style of SMP, and if that's right for you, then, you know, that will help you make a decision. Absolutely. So last of all, I just wanted to find out from you if you can perhaps tell us one of your favourite stories, a transformation on one of your clients. Is there one standout favourite client that you treated, and what was their story?
There are so many. And it's one of those things where when you see someone face the mirror and, you know, example of, I've got quite a few clients who have lost their hair for about 30 years. And when they look in the mirror and they have that frame back, the emotion that comes out of these people, that I don't think that they can contain themselves, because they actually see their face for the first time in absolute years. It's almost like they're looking back 20 or 30 years. But as a standout, I've got one particular client that I did his treatment last year, and he had lost his wife a year or so prior. So having this done of an age where he was now entering into a life on his own, and wanting to feel somewhat good about himself after what he'd experienced in losing his wife, it built his confidence up so much. It was so overwhelming. Like when he looked in the mirror, and like every treatment that you do, it takes it to that next step, and you just see the smile almost getting bigger with each treatment. But he his persona and the way he holds himself now is completely different. It's
amazing
it's
that
awesome.
something that we can offer can have such an impact on someone's life like that.
I think that's the biggest part of why I do personally what I do. That's the draw card to me. It's what got me interested in the industry in the first place. Was out of care for somebody that had an insecurity or a concern, and every single person that comes through the door, it's personal. It's personal. You know, I listen to what they have to say and what's their concern, because I could see somebody when they walk in the door and I might see them and think, well, this is what we should do, but they might have a different take about it. It might not be their direct concern. So yeah, it's all about the outcome. It's amazing.
Yeah. Brilliant. So we're very lucky to have you as a part of our team at SMP Australia. So just tell us a little bit about the location where you are, because you do service clients. People travel all over Queensland to see you. So just explain to our lovely clients from the sunny state exactly where you are.
So we're based in Paddington, across from Suncorp Stadium. So it's a really great location. It's a beautiful spot. We're located in a set of suites, which is architecturally designed. It's just beautiful. And our rooms they're absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, we absolutely love it there. It's a location that's very easy to find. We do have parking available. So, you know, if you are traveling, you don't have to worry and get kerfuffled about trying to find a park before your treatment. But yes, we have people from Townsville, Rockhampton, Mackay, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast. We have people travel from all over for their treatments. So it's
Queensland is so massive.
It's huge.
And you're so lucky you have beautiful weather up there. So I certainly enjoy coming
lovely.
and seeing you. I get very excited when I get to do a trip to Brisbane, because I do love your location, and the rooms are beautiful, and you're very lucky. And there is free parking and a cafe right across the road. So if anyone is interested in a consultation to see Anita, who is in the Brisbane Paddington location, make sure that you head over to our website, which is www.smpaus.com.au. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you stay up to date and see the latest information that we bring available to you. And thank you so much, Anita, for your time today and sharing some information. And we hope that this video reaches or this podcast can reach some people that might be looking into SMP, and hopefully meeting you on here will help make that decision. So thanks so much, Anita.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Ta. Bye.